You're watching Mountaintop's Choice for news and live local sports. WYLN, we're your local network.
Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Paula Dagnan. We start off tonight with a multi-agency drug bust in the Hazleton area. Hazleton City Police, West Hazleton Police, and Luzerne County Drug Task Force arrested 5 people and have issued arrest warrants for 5 more people. Police arrested 43-year-old Dawn Craigle and 37-year-old Brian Dickinson, both of West Hazleton. 25-year-old Timothy Pendergast of Hazel Township, 42-year-old Scott Wanamaker of Weston, and 39-year-old John Laura of Shenandoah. All 5 are facing a number of drug charges, including delivery of a controlled substance and delivery of meth and possession of drug paraphernalia. Police have issued arrest warrants for the following people: 24-year-old Brittany Hinkle of McAdoo, 21-year-old Gianna Julian of Mahanoy City, 44-year-old Christina Click and 21-year-old Austin Clerico, both of West Hazleton, and 29-year-old Bruce Nelligan. Investigators say throughout last month and into this month, they conducted several controlled purchases of meth. Now, a follow-up to a story that we brought you yesterday here on WYLN News. We told you that state troopers were at a home on North Wyoming Street. Today, we know why. Troopers say they arrested an 18-year-old and found thousands of bags of suspected drugs. Arrest papers state that troopers attached to the Drug Law Enforcement Division and Northeast Strike Force charged Unique Brown with numerous charges from manufacture, delivery, or possession to use or possession of drug paraphernalia and other charges. Troopers learned Brown was involved in drug sales and surrounded the building he lived in on Tuesday. They took him into custody and searched the building after obtaining search warrants. They seized 142 bricks of suspected heroin fentanyl, including 50 bricks in the first-floor apartment in which Brown lived. He was taken into custody and jailed after failing to post $125,000 bail. No injuries reported that after a car crashed through a sign near the borough line for Mahanoy City. According to Mahanoy Township Police, it happened around 10:30 Wednesday morning. A vehicle heading east on Route 54 from Mahanoy Township into Mahanoy City veered off the north side of the highway and crashed through the Welcome to Mahanoy City sign. The driver wasn't injured in that incident. The vehicle, though, had to be towed from the scene. The driver was taken into custody for suspected DUI. Police identified him as John Balashok. He was taken into custody on charges of driving under the influence of a controlled substance, driving with a suspended license, and other violations. He was also wanted on an outstanding warrant in another county. Now to Klein Township, where police there have filed threat charges against a township man. 56-year-old William Ward now faces terroristic threats, disorderly conduct, and 2 counts of harassment. The charges filed after police say they found the man threatening his neighbor. Police responded to a reported disturbance at 102 Haddock Road and found Ward at the edge of his driveway, yelling and cursing, according to arrest papers. Ward also was threatening his neighbor's home and accused his neighbor of telling his employer he was on drugs, which he allegedly lost his job over. Police told Ward to stop acting out. He replied that he was going to kill his neighbor. Raid on an apartment in Wilkes-Barre Wednesday ended with 1 man arrested on drug trafficking and other charges. That raid happened at the apartment building on South Grant Street and was part of a code inspection and had also been the site of a raid last month. 25-year-old Travis Hamlet was arrested and marijuana and cocaine found in the apartment. All others living in that building were also ordered to evacuate due to unfit living conditions. He is in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility with a hearing on those charges later this month. The Schuylkill County Commissioners voted Wednesday to strip former Clerk of Courts Stephen Lukash Jr. of his county retirement and health benefits. This following his agreeing to plead guilty to 2 federal crimes. According to Schuylkill County Commissioner Chairman George Halkovich, the vote was on the advice of the solicitor. The commissioners approved the action without debate or discussion. The commissioners acted under the authority of the State Public Employee Pension Forfeiture Act, according to County Solicitor Glenn Roth Jr. In accordance with that law, commissioners took everything from Lukash except the money he paid into the pension, which he will receive back without interest. Lukash resigned in April 2014 while under investigation for misuse of funds in his office and agreed March 22nd to plead guilty in U.S. District Court to 1 count each of mail fraud and falsification of records. Lukash could go to prison for 40 years as well as spend an additional 6 years on supervised release. After numerous rumors and flyers being posted, Sugar Notch Council says that the police department will not be disbanded. At Wednesday's meeting, Mayor Bill Davis and Council President Pat Dalton said the department will stay intact. However, Councilman Dominic Panetta says he plans to speak with nearby Hanover Township about possibly contracting police services with their department. Some residents agree with the councilman, while others say they are not opposed to paying more money to get more officers and keep them within the community. According to the mayor, that would be necessary because money is a concern. The borough may try to negotiate a deal with Hanover Township in the future, but for now, policing in Sugar Notch will remain the same. Brush fire season is here, and crews from numerous departments spent Wednesday night and much of today working on 3 separate fires on Alden Mountain. Our Julie Stefanovich spoke to a member of the Harwood Fire Department about brush fires.
Winter is behind us, and the snow has finally melted, and soon the outdoors will be in full bloom. But the concern for brush fire starts now. Just yesterday, crews were busy trying to contain a brush fire in Hanover Township. While many see the images of catastrophic fires devastating places like California, the threat of a large brush fire consuming everything in its path can happen right here in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Things like that can certainly happen here, yes. However, the frequency of a fire of that size or nature here is not as high. We do have big fires here in Pennsylvania every year, but what we call those are generally natural cover fires. They burn like the bottom 6 feet. So from head level down on me, down to the bottom, leaves, twigs, branches, the bottoms of trees, barks, and so forth will burn. And that can cause just as much damage or just as much danger as a regular forest fire.
Though we may be seeing a lot of rain in the forecast, the danger still lurks for wildfires.
The ground may be wet, but all those leaves and branches on top of the ground are dry. If it rains, it's immediately going to be wet. However, very quickly with the arid, dry air that we have in the spring, that top layer of everything on top of the ground dries out very quickly. And then we have gusty winds, and you get one spark in there and light those leaves on fire, one good gust of wind, and you're going to have a couple acres off in no time.
There are some common sense tips that people can follow to prevent a major brush fire from happening.
One thing they can do is if they're going to be outside burning, which is what causes most of our brush fires every year, would be to have hoses stretched from your house out to where you're burning and be in attendance with that fire at all times. If you don't have a hose, make sure you have a couple buckets of water, and you have to be able to maintain and watch that fire at all times, especially during wildfire season, which generally runs from the middle of March till about the middle of May.
So remember, if burning is legal where you live, keep an eye out at all times. Don't leave fires unattended, and watch out for disposing of lit cigarettes, especially near heavily wooded areas. Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Coming up on WYLN News, saving nuclear energy industry jobs plus more jobs coming to the Hanover 9 site. But first, let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. Clouds and rain mixing with wet snow overnight with a low of 32. The higher elevations could have some snow on grassy surfaces early tomorrow. Then look for that rain that Julie mentioned. Saturday looks nice, just in time for the Helping Hands Telethon. We'll be right back.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in the Hometown Village Square. The Helping Hand Society's annual telethon will be held live April 6th from Genetti Ballrooms in Hazel Township and broadcast on WYLN TV 35. Enjoy local and regional entertainment all day Saturday from noon until 11 p.m. The Helping Hand Society's annual telethon live from the Genetti Ballrooms, 1345 North Church Street in Hazel Township, Saturday, April 6th on WYLN TV 35.
It's spring, and savings are in the air during the spring sales event at All American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our large inventory and drive off with a great deal. Lease a new Jeep Compass Latitude 4x4 for $189 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get select Ram 1500 4x4s for as low as $32,890. Or get 0% for 72 months on the Ram 1500. Savings are in the air during the spring sales event at All American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
State Representative Tara Toohill took part in a private tour of the Susquehanna Nuclear Power Plant this afternoon, along with other legislators. Toohill is co-sponsoring legislation that would save nuclear energy industry jobs and keep electricity prices stable. House Bill 11, also known as the Alternative Energy Portfolio Standards Act, is meant to recognize nuclear energy for its significant contribution to the state's zero-carbon energy production. Despite the fact that Pennsylvania's nuclear power plants generate 42% of its electricity and provide 93% of its zero-carbon electricity, it's been excluded from the Commonwealth's AEPS program. Unless the inequality is addressed, 3 Mile Island will shut down in October of this year, and Beaver Valley follows in 2021. Nuclear power plant shutdowns are irreversible. Tune in tomorrow for the full story on how vital House Bill 11 is for Pennsylvania's future zero-carbon energy and economy here on WYLN. State Senator John Udechak and North Point development officials announced that Spreetail will open a fulfillment center in the Nanticoke City section of the Hanover 9 site. Spreetail is an e-commerce company established in 2006 in Lincoln, Nebraska, that's dedicated to making customers' lives better and easier through a high-quality shopping experience by offering a simple and enjoyable way to shop for home, garden, and backyard products. North Point Development, a privately held development firm in Kansas City, has invested over $393 million in capital investment in the South Valley Corridor, creating over 4,600 new jobs. Spreetail will employ 50 people at the 610,000 square foot Hanover 9 site and expect to employ 120 by 2021. They will be hiring fulfillment team members at a starting wage of $16.50 an hour to begin in June. Construction begins this week to improve a Wilkes-Barre neighborhood. The George Avenue Streetscape project will cover 4 blocks of George Avenue from Parkin Street to Scott Street. Sidewalks and curbs will be replaced along with installing new handicap ramp upgrades. The street will be repaved and new markings will be added to enhance pedestrian safety. The project is being funded by a $600,000 state grant through the Multimodal Transportation Fund program. The city will put a traffic control plan in place, leaving one lane open on George Avenue during that construction. Work expected to begin in the block between Parkin and Mill Streets on the odd-numbered side. The Cityscape project should be completed within the next 3 months. The Wilkes-Barre Area School District has scheduled a groundbreaking event for the new high school April 12th. 11 new construction contracts will cost a total of $88.2 million. The school board conditionally approved them last week. Superintendent Brian Costello announced Wednesday that the district can now sign the contracts because the State Department of Education has approved the 6th step in the process to get state funding. The superintendent also says the groundbreaking event on the 78-acre site will be at 11 a.m. April 12th on Wolfpack Way. The new high school will allow the consolidation of all 3 district high schools, Myers, GAR, and Coughlin, before the 21-22 school year. 2 zone hearings are scheduled in Packer Township that after a firm appealed a denial of an application to build wind turbines atop the Broad Mountain. Algonquin and Liberty Power is proposing to build 21 large turbines. They would generate 245,000 megawatts of electricity. The turbines would be built on a 4,000-acre tract in Packer Township and Nesquehoning at a cost of around $145 million. The structures would be around 656 feet high. The township zoning officer denied the application because the firm applied for a zoning variance when a special exception is needed. That first zoning hearing will take place April 17th, the second April 30th. Both will be held in the Weatherly Area Middle School cafeteria and are limited to 2 hours each. Property taxes, the discussion at a gathering Wednesday morning in Tamaqua. Senator David Argall and State Representative Jerry Knowles were both on hand at a meeting of the Rotary Club and Chamber of Commerce. Argall, who represents Northwest Berks and all of Schuylkill County, proposed a bill nearly 12 years ago that would replace property taxes by raising the state income tax from 3.07% to 4.95% and sales tax from 6 to 7%. His bill would provide school districts with the same revenues that they currently get from property taxes. Jerry Knowles said that his constituents tell him they would rather pay a little more in sales tax and income tax rather than having to fork over a large sum for property taxes once a year. Many also consider property tax unfair because it doesn't affect renters, while others believe renters are in effect paying taxes for their landlords through their rents. And the debate continues. Coming up on Inglewood's News Choice, your new best friend is waiting for you at the SPCA. Plus, they really are giant when it comes to workplace equality. Stay with us.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Having an intimate gathering and don't want to wrestle in the kitchen? Call Whitetail and ask about their food-to-go catering menu. They'll do the cooking, you relax, and entertain your guests. Call Mike at 570-535-6123. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
We see it all too often. Animals being abused or neglected. It's problematic worldwide and right here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Luckily, organizations like the Luzerne County SPCA come to the aid of animals in need. The shelter has 3 Humane Society police officers who are in charge of serving all of Luzerne County.
Our officers are as good as the information that's coming in. So it's often said, if you see something, say something. And that's certainly what we would ask of our community. If you see something that doesn't agree with your value system or how you believe an animal should be treated, call us, say something. And in turn, our officers can go out and begin to do an investigation as to whether or not they are or are not in violation of any state anti-cruelty laws. Sometimes they're not. Doesn't always mean it agrees with our value system, but if it does not violate the law, then unfortunately we educate and have to step back and allow them to live with their animals as they see fit, as long as they toe that line with the state laws.
Legislation such as Libre's Law has made anti-cruelty laws more strict.
Libre's Law certainly made state anti-cruelty laws far more strict and in line, far more in line with what our national feeling is when it comes to animal cruelty. It did impose some stricter penalties, but our job on a day-to-day basis, as far as our Humane Society police officers and the kind folks that work inside this building, really does not change on a day-to-day basis. It is more the laws that have changed slightly, as far as, again, are a bit more strict or detailed, where the previous law was a bit more ambiguous and left a lot of room for subjectivity. So Libre's Law is certainly helpful. We welcomed it and hope that our state continues to walk that road towards protecting the animals that we choose to share our lives with.
Shelter staff deals with animals that are victims of abuse and neglect.
Really is very specific to the situation, the animal, and where they came from and where we believe they are going to. You know, we often talk about, we try to make things very black and white, but an animal welfare organization lives their lives and operates in gray, because every situation that walks through the door has its own nuances and uniqueness, because we are dealing with live animals. We might get an animal through the door that loves me, but the next person that walks up, for whatever reason, reflects upon some of their trauma that they may have had in their life and doesn't. So it does become this balance we have to strike between the safety of our staff, the safety of our officers, and ultimately the safety of the community, in order to put, do we believe this animal is safe enough to be placed back into the community, or does it have the ability or propensity to lash out or be aggressive or things of that nature. So we're very aware and cognizant of what this animal's unique needs are, and it literally changes from as many different animals as we see. Their needs are as different as they are.
If anyone suspects neglect or abuse, they can reach out to the Luzerne County SPCA at 570-825-4111.
It's spring, and savings are in the air during the spring sales event at All American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our large inventory and drive off with a great deal. Lease a new Jeep Compass Latitude 4x4 for $189 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get select Ram 1500 4x4s for as low as $32,890. Or get 0% for 72 months on the Ram 1500. Savings are in the air during the spring sales event at All American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown the Hometown Village Square. Go Hog Wild for Iron Pigs Baseball. WYLN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs live. America's favorite pastime on your local network, WYLN TV 35. See the stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WYLN TV 35. Visit WYLNTV.com for a complete Iron Pigs schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WYLN, your home for live sports.
Giant Food Stores announcing it has earned top marks on LGBTQ workplace equality. The company earned 100% on the Human Rights Campaign Foundation's 17th annual scorecard. Giant received a perfect score on the 2019 Corporate Equality Index. The CEI surveys and reports on corporate policies related to LGBTQ workplace equality. Giant officials saying in a news release that Giant has a long-standing commitment to creating a diverse and inclusive environment in which our associates and customers are treated fairly and with respect at all times. The Helping Hands Society's 2019 telethon is coming up this weekend. The nonprofit organization serves special needs children and their families through educational and therapeutic services. The staff and the children all busy getting ready for the annual telethon, which broadcasts live Saturday, April 6th, right here on WYLN. The telethon is being held at Genetti's Ballrooms on South Church Street in Hazel Township. Once again, the Helping Hands Society's 2019 telethon this Saturday, April 6th, and can be seen live from noon to 11 p.m. right here on WYLN. That's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
The Helping Hands Society's annual telethon will be held live April 6th from Genetti Ballrooms in Hazel Township and broadcast on WYLN TV 35. Enjoy local and regional entertainment all day Saturday from noon until 11 p.m. The Helping Hands Society's annual telethon live from the Genetti Ballrooms, 1345 North Church Street in Hazel Township, Saturday, April 6th on WYLN TV 35. For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicap accessible with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. Packages are available to fit anyone's budget, and there is a restaurant and catering on site. The facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor parties, private parties of any kind. Call 570-384-2314. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org. watching Wilkes-Barre's choice for news, weather, and live local sports. WYLN, we're your local network.